Travis Hunter to go number 2. Oh, wait. The Jags are on the clock. They trade up to number 2. What were your guys' thoughts when that was going down?
Go ahead, Ryan.
I did not think that was worth it. I think you're a rebuilding team and you take a guy who's a luxury pick with both positions he plays. Like, I'd want to see him go to a more set up team, and I don't know what he's going to play. And I just think they gave up a lot to move up 3 spots to get him. I think they just would have been fine staying at 5. Honestly, take Mason Graham. It would have been all right. It's just not worth it to me.
What do you think,
Ryan,
Miro?
Ryan, I don't know if you know, but teams that are in the top 5 usually aren't built well, So it's going to happen whoever you take.
I know, but it's just, I mean, that's why I don't like Travis Hunter going that high to begin with, though. Like, I get the talent and I get the rarity in having a guy who can play both positions, but like, truly, what's that going to look like? I don't know.
So I don't mind the pick itself. Like, I get why everyone was fascinated with Travis Hunter. It's more what you gave up to get there. That's what bothered me more than anything. But I think we all knew Travis Hunter was going to go 1, 2, or 3. So the place of the pick doesn't bother me. The way they got there bothers me a lot.
What does Travis Hunter have to do to make that trade worth it for the Jags? He's got to be a top X receiver. He's got to be a top X corner. He's got to be a cornerstone franchise for the next 10 years that completely turns around the fate of the Jaguars. Like, how important and impactful does he have to be for that to be worth it?
I will use a personal example of when the Lions took Jeff Okudah at 3rd overall. I was telling people, this guy better be a Hall of Famer. If you're going to take a corner that high when the rest of your team is shit, then he better be a game wrecker. Like, he better be a perennial Pro Bowler and an eventual Hall of Famer, at least on that side of the ball. And when you factor in Travis Hunter, I mean, even taking a wide receiver at 3 is crazy. So, I don't know. I mean, I think that's the
Lions
bar for him.
did that
He's
too.
got to be a game changer. Yeah. Yeah, we did. But when we took Calvin, he was a Hall of Famer, and that worked out. Like, that's what I mean. Like, Calvin was a can't miss, right?
So my whole issue, Ryan, with your argument is you called it like a luxury pick at 2 positions. Corner and wide receiver are both premium positions. If he can play one at a grade A level and one at a grade B minus level, I mean, wide receivers are making damn near 40 million. Corners are making 30. Like, that gives you it kind of gives you a dart throw at 2 positions, like depending on the makeup of your roster and kind of what you need to do week to week. Like, obviously, I don't think you can play that many snaps and be swapping back and forth. But if you're going to trade up, I read it was the first time since 1997 a team traded into the top 2 to draft a non-quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of pressure on Travis Hunter, but man, fun dude. I kind of like the trade for both teams. I think the Browns, I feel like, are farther away than the Jags. I'm a bigger Trevor Lawrence believer than I think you guys are, at least Miro, Ryan. I don't know where your Trevor Lawrence love is. But I think he's solid to quite solid. And yeah, I think the Browns are kind of just flailing away. And I think the Browns adding extra draft capital, getting Mason Graham, having those 2 picks at the top of the 2nd round, I think it could work out for both teams. But, I mean, Travis Hunter's got to be special.
Well, let me just say in response to what you said about the luxury thing, I think that my problem with it is 2 things. One was the trade up and the value you gave up to get there.
Sure.
And 2 is I just don't understand what the Jaguars plan to do. And I think that's where I'm getting stuck. I could eat crow in 6 months.
What do you mean by that?
Balling. I mean that I don't know how much he's going to play receiver. I don't know how much he's going to play corner. I don't know if it's 50-50. I don't know if it's going to be just corner. I mean, and thirdly, last thing is we all know that without a pass rush, any good corner is going to get eaten alive. And I don't know how good the Jaguars pass rush is to justify a pick like that. It's the same thing when the Lions took Okudah. Back to that.
I'm definitely with you that Like, I'd rather have a good pass rush and a crappy secondary than a great secondary and a crappy pass rush. Like, I think a good pass rush erases a lot more than a good secondary does. So I'm with you there. I don't know. I like when teams get bold. It could absolutely blow up in the face of the Jaguars. But part of me also just thinks, like, it'd be really fun if Travis Hunter was just the outlier of outliers, the Ohtani, like we talked about last week of the NFL. What if he does play 85% of snaps on both sides of the ball? I know we're saying he can't do it. Like, physically, he shouldn't be able to do it. But, like,
Right.
he was playing 130 snaps a game at Colorado. It's insane. There aren't that many snaps in an NFL game.
And if anything, you know what? He's going to sell jerseys. He's going to sell tickets. And if he can do that and be a great player, then, hey, you nailed it. But I just think the long shot of all that happening is a long shot, like for me at least. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just being pessimistic about it.
I'm with Matt on this 100%. If he's elite at one of the positions and serviceable at the other,
Yeah.
he's worth the contract.
Yeah.
And then also, I'm more excited to see if he is Ohtani. What does this guy make? How do you pay him?
I was just thinking that. That's going to be fascinating.
It's going to be a Dr. Evil, like $1 billion.
Oh, yeah. They're going to have to get some kind of exclusive tag. Pay him as two people instead of one. It's going to be wild.
Yeah, what if he gets
Well-
franchise tagged? Which position
Who-
does he get, right? Because corners, I think wide receivers would make more, right? If you're franchise tagged.
Yeah,
I don't
it
know,
would
this
just-
whole thing gets so funky.
Who was there was a player that wanted to get paid like an outlier type pay. Was it Eckler?
There was, I think there was two things that come to mind. There was Eckler, who wanted to get paid like as a receiver, and then there was a tight end. Maybe it was Kelsey, but maybe not, who wanted to get paid like tagged as a receiver.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
Players Association's going to have their hand full with that one.